Hello and welcome to Powwow Yoga. In today's flow, we're going to focus on opening the hips and the shoulders. So when you're ready, grab your mat and let's begin. In today's practice, we're going to start laying on our backs. So find yourself in a comfortable position. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Let your eyes close if that feels comfortable for you. Slowly start to focus on your breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. As you start to focus on the breath, feel the belly expand and rise as you inhale, and let it collapse back to the floor as you exhale, letting the breath come from deep within the belly. And as you continue to connect with your breathing, start to lengthen your inhale and your exhale. Keep connecting with that breath. Slowly start to flutter your eyes back open if you closed them. And on your next inhale, reach overhead to the wall behind you. Just like a good morning stretch, find length through the body, pulling the toes and the hands in opposite directions. And as you exhale, gently tuck your chin towards your chest and roll all the way up into a comfortable seated position. Once there, inhale, reach the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And then exhale, fold over your legs as you reach the hands towards the feet, the ankles, or the calves, whichever feels most comfortable for you. Bending the knees as much as you need so you can lay your belly on the top of the thighs. So pull the thighs up towards the hips to find length through the upper body, rather than just pressing the knees down to find that length. On the next inhale, pull the crown of the head to the wall in front of you, and exhale, rise up to sit. From here, transition into tabletop or an all fours position. Inhale, reach the right arm towards the right wall. And exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left, coming all the way down onto your shoulder and cheek. From there, reach your left arm overhead to the front center of your mat. So you're opening up the back and the shoulder to really get a good stretch through the entire shoulder girdle. Keep staying connected with that breath. On the next exhale, slowly bring your left hand back under the shoulder and press yourself back up into tabletop. On the inhale, reach your left arm towards the left wall, and exhale, thread it underneath the right, coming onto your shoulder and cheek. From here, reach the right arm overhead to the front center of your mat. On the next exhale, bring the right hand back under the shoulder and press yourself back up into tabletop. We're going to gently warm up the forearms and the wrists. So turn your right hand 180 so the fingertips are facing your knee. Keep the wrists in the same plane, making sure that they're matching up. As you exhale, round the spine, coming into cat, pulling the rib cage together and towards the spine. As you inhale, lengthen the body, press the belly button towards the floor, take up space. Exhale again, round the spine, come back to cat. Inhale, find that lengthening, find that back bend into cow. 2 more times, flowing through those 2 with your own breath. Exhale to round. Inhale to lengthen. Last time here, exhale to round. Inhale, lengthen. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Release the right hand so it's back into its neutral position. Rotate the left hand so the fingertips are towards the knee. Again, making sure the wrists are in the same plane or in the same line. And flow through. So exhale, round the spine, scoop everything up and in. Inhale, lengthen, press the belly button down towards the floor. Take your gaze to the wall in front of you. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, round the spine. Inhale, lengthen. Slowly release the left hand back to its neutral position. Rotate both wrists so the fingertips are facing their sides of the room. And gently just shift the weight side to side, making sure to keep the entire palm and fingertips connected with the mat so we're not tenting up the knuckles and being on the finger pads. Gently opening up the wrists and getting ready for our flow. Slowly work your way back to center and realign the hands so the fingertips are facing forward. From here, press the hands flat into the mat beneath you and lift your knees just an inch or two from the floor. Engage the abdominals, pull the rib cage nice and high. Take in one deep breath here. And as you exhale, rise your sit bones up to the ceiling, press your heels to the floor into down dog. Feel free to pedal the feet, bending one knee at a time as you stretch the opposite leg. Or open up the hips side to side, mobilizing through the shoulders, the hips, the hamstrings. Taking a moment for free movement, whatever feels good in your body today. Staying connected with that breath as you do so. And then whenever you are ready, come back to center to your down dog. Taking a nice deep inhale. Exhale, gaze forward between the fingers. And then let the feet follow, stepping up towards the hands. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen the spine, pull the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, hands all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms back overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step the feet back to high plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward slightly so you're on the tippy toes. And then exhale with control, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Bring the right hand under the right shoulder and extend your left arm out straight towards the wall, making sure the arm stays in line with the shoulder so it's not down towards the ribs or up towards the head. From here, make sure you're rotating the shoulder down so the entire arm is connected with the floor. Not even a little ant could crawl underneath. Bending your right knee, gently roll onto your left hip, bringing the right foot to the floor, opening up your left shoulder. And if it's comfortable for you, lay on your left cheek, taking your gaze over to the right. Keep breathing here. Slowly bring your gaze back to the floor and bring yourself back onto the belly. Bending at the elbow on the left arm, come into a cactus shape. So the elbow is still in line with the shoulder, but the wrist is off about a 45-degree angle. Bend the right knee again and roll onto that left hip. Your right foot might not touch the floor this time, but let it act as an anchor pulling you towards the left so you feel a nice big opening or stretch through the left chest. And again, if it's comfortable for you, feel free to come onto the left cheek, taking your gaze to the right side of the room. Slowly bring your gaze back down, releasing yourself back onto the belly and bringing the left hand under the shoulder. Extend your right arm towards the right wall, again making sure to keep it in line with the shoulder. Bending the left knee, roll onto the right hip, placing the left foot flat onto the floor. And taking your gaze over to the left side of the room, coming onto your right cheek. Keep connecting with the breath and trying to stay present. On the next exhale, bring your gaze back and slowly roll back onto the belly. Bending at the right elbow, coming back to that cactus shape, where the elbow lines up with the right shoulder, but the wrist is off about a 45-degree angle. Rebend the left knee and roll onto the right hip. Again, letting that left leg just act as an anchor so you can really open the chest on the right side. Slowly bring yourself back onto the belly. Bring the right hand under the right shoulder. Pull your shoulders down and back. Take the gaze forward and inhale, lift the chest slightly from the floor, keeping very little weight in the hands. Exhale, release back down and press yourself all the way back to down dog. Inhale your right foot up towards the ceiling. Bending at the knee, let the heel fall behind the hip, opening up your hips towards the right wall while keeping the weight even between the right hand and the left. And if it's comfortable for you, circle through the ankle on the right side, or maybe you start to circle the knee, opening up that hip. Realign the leg back center so the toes are facing the floor, and then step the foot through to the hands. Let your left knee gently melt down towards the floor, keeping the weight pushing forward so you feel a nice stretch or opening through the left hip flexor. Hook your thumbs together and inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling, letting your gaze follow. Opening up the front side of your body and your left hip. If it's comfortable, reach over to the right side as you push your hips to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, reach the left, push your hips to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release the hands so they're framing that right foot. Shift the weight back so you're sitting the hips over the left knee and pull the right toes up to the ceiling, opening up your right hamstring. Pull the thighs up towards the hips to find length through the upper body so you can rest your belly on the thigh. Keeping a nice, flat, long spine rather than rounding the upper back. Slowly start to bring the right foot back flat onto the floor. Retuck your left toes and step the right foot back to down dog. Inhale the left foot up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hips to the left side wall as you keep the weight even between the right and the left hand. Circling through the ankle or maybe the knee, taking a moment for free movement for what feels good in your body. And then realigning the hips to square so the left toes are facing the floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, step the foot through to the hands. Let your right knee slowly melt down towards the floor, opening up that right hip flexor. Hooking your thumbs, inhale, reach the arms overhead, letting your gaze follow. Reach the arms over to the left side room as you push your hips to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, reach the hands to the right side room as you push your hips to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release the hands so they're straddling the left foot. Sit the weight back so your hips are over the right knee, and then pull the left toes up towards the ceiling. Pull the thigh up towards the hips to lengthen the upper body and just drape your belly over the left thigh. Slowly bring the left foot back flat onto the floor. Re-tuck the right toes, lifting the knee and stepping your left foot back to down dog. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, let your gaze come forward to the fingertips and step the feet forward to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold and step back to high plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, either all the way down or this time coming into your chaturanga, coming halfway down. Inhale, either to cobra or into up dog, finding length through the front side of the body. Exhale, back down dog. Inhale, your right foot up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right leg all the way through into pigeon, so your right knee behind the right wrist and your right ankle behind the left. Feel free to use the left hand to make any adjustments. Lower the left knee towards the floor, keeping the hips nice and square, and feel free to place a block under the right hip if you feel like you're having to use too much muscular strength to hold that right hip. If it feels comfortable for you today to stay up on the hands, feel free to stay there. If you want to start walking yourself out onto the forearms or onto the belly, find that movement. Opening up the outside of your right hip. Staying connected with that breath and focusing on keeping the hips nice and square. Keep breathing here. If you worked your way out onto the belly or onto the forearms, slowly start to work your way back up onto the hands. Reaching your left arm back, bend your left knee and grab hold of the foot. And if this is uncomfortable, feel free to use a strap or a belt or any kind of woven fabric that you might have on hand. Gently pull the left foot towards the left hip, really opening up that left quadricep. And if you need extra padding underneath that left knee, feel free to fold your mat over or put a towel underneath that knee. Take in one more breath here, and then slowly release the left leg back and left hand to the floor. Tucking the left toe under, step your right foot back, down dog. Inhale the left foot up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep it all the way through to pigeon. Left knee behind the left wrist and left ankle behind the right. Again, use your opposite arm, that right hand, to make any adjustments you might need. And if the left hip needs a prop, place a block underneath of it. Try to mirror whatever you do on the other side. So staying up on the hands or on the forearms or on the belly as you work your way into half pigeon. Focusing on keeping those hips square to the floor so we can really open up that left hip. Take in one more nice deep breath here. And then if you were on the belly or the forearm, slowly work your way back up onto the hands. Reaching the right arm behind you, bend the right knee and grab hold of the foot and gently pull the foot towards the glute. Finding a nice big opening through the quadricep. Exhale, slowly release, bringing everything back. Returning the right hand to the floor, tuck the right toes under, lifting that knee and step back into down dog. Inhale the right foot back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, this time step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. Leaving the left hand on the floor, inhale, reach the right arm up to the ceiling, rotating your chest to the inner right thigh. Making a fist with the right hand, find energy through that arm and pull yourself up into a revolved lunge. It's okay if you lose your balance, reconnect with it here. And then slowly work the left arm back down towards the floor and release the right arm back towards the floor. As we work into lizard, feel free to bring your blocks into the equation, either on their lowest, mid, or highest setting, whatever feels best for you. And then bring your forearms either to the block or to the floor. If the knee starts to fall off to the right side, gently just rotate the foot off to a 45-degree angle. But if you can keep the knee touching the right shoulder, keep the toes facing forward. Finding that big hip opening on the left side as we're in lizard pose. Slowly work your way back up onto your hands. And if you brought blocks into the equation, just set them back off to the side. Replacing the hands flat onto the floor. Step the right foot back to high plank. Inhale, shift the weight slightly forward. Exhale, lower halfway down or all the way down onto your belly. Inhaling into cobra or into up dog. And then exhale back, down dog. Inhale your left foot up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it to the outside of your left hand. Keeping the right hand flat onto the floor, inhale the left arm up to the ceiling, rotating your chest to the inner left thigh. Make a fist through the left hand to start to energize through that arm as you use that energy to pull yourself up into a revolved high lunge. Staying connected with that breath. Exhale, slowly releasing the right hand back to the floor. And then releasing the left hand back. As we move into lizard, try to mirror what you did on the other side. So if you need the blocks, go ahead and bring them here. And then work your way onto the forearms. And again, if that knee drops off to the left side, just rotate the feet off to a 45-degree angle so you can keep everything in a neutral line. But if you can keep hugging that knee towards the shoulder, keep the toes facing forward. Finding that release and that opening through your right hip. Keep pulling the crown of the head to the wall in front of you to find that link through the upper body. Exhale, slowly work your way back up onto the hands and set your blocks off to the side if you had them. Replacing the hands flat onto the floor, step your left foot back to high plank, lowering either halfway or all the way down onto the belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. From here, we're slowly going to lower the knees to the widest edges of your mat. From there, line your ankles and your feet with the knees, so make sure the feet and the ankles aren't in towards each other, but pushing towards the outside edge of the mat. As you look back towards the knees, maybe you can't even see the feet and the ankles because they're behind the knees. As we move into frog pose, start to shift the weight back until you feel both hip flexors starting to stretch. And if this is intense enough for you today, feel free just to stay here. But if you'd like to go a little deeper, slowly work yourself onto your forearms. Making sure to not let the ankles roll in towards each other, but to keep pressing them to the outside edge of your mat. Stay connected with your breath here. Avoid adding tension in the upper body as you try to get into this stretch. To come out, slowly shift your weight forward first, and then work yourself back up on to the hands. This time, bring the big toes together and sit back into a wide child's pose. Just letting the belly fall between the thighs. Let your arms relax and just kind of melt into it. Inhale, slowly press yourself back up. Walk the knees behind the wrists, crossing the ankles behind you or sending them out to the side to have a seat. Bring the bottom of the feet together as you press the knees to the floor, opening up the inner thighs and the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold center. You can leave the elbows towards the inside of the frame of the legs or start to work your forearms too, being in front of the shins. Feel free to let the chin drop and just round the upper back here. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, and exhale, rise back up to sit. Send your legs out straight. Inhale, find length in the spine, then exhale, drape yourself over the thighs, reaching either for the feet, the ankles, or the calves, whatever suits you best. Inhale, slowly work your way back up. Pull your right knee in and then bring the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh. Gently hug the right knee with the left arm, taking the right hand behind the right hip as you come into a gentle spinal twist. Keep pulling the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and hugging that knee in tight so you're opening up the right hip as well as twisting from the mid back. Making sure you can still breathe nice and deep here so we're not restricting the lungs. Exhale, slowly work your way back to center. Releasing the right leg back out straight. Bring the left knee into the chest, crossing the ankle over the right thigh. Hugging the left knee with the right arm, taking the left hand behind the left hip and twisting over that left side. Finding length through the body by pulling the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And keep hugging that knee in nice and tight. Slowly release, bringing everything back. Extending the legs out long. And then one vertebra at a time, just unraveling yourself all the way down onto the floor. Bending the right knee, place your left ankle on the top of the thigh. And then hug the right knee into the chest. As you keep hugging the right knee towards you, keep pressing the left knee away. Take in one more deep breath here. And then keeping the legs into the chest, let the arms fall off the shoulders like a T, and let both legs fall off to the right side so your left foot is flat onto the floor. Press the left ankle into the right thigh, finding an opening through the hip flexors. Slowly release that push and bring everything back up to center to switch sides. So placing the right ankle on the top of the left thigh, hug the left thigh into the chest. Keep pulling the left thigh in deeper as you push the right knee away. Again, keeping the legs into the chest, release the arms out from the shoulders like a T and let the legs fall off to the left side so your right foot comes flat on the floor. Pushing the right ankle into the left thigh. Slowly release that push and bring the legs back up to center. Hug the knees into the chest and gently roll side to side, massaging the lower back. Slowly working your way back to center, sending the legs out long. Let your right leg fall off to the right, your left leg fall off to the left. Let your arms relax down by your side as you let every part of you melt into the mat beneath you. Let your eyes close and let your breath return to its natural state as you sink deep into your Shavasana. Staying connected with yourself here. If you have time, feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. But if you need to move on with your day, slowly roll onto your right side. And then using your left arm, gently press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Inhale. Inhale, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, bringing your hands to heart. Thank you for joining us for your Pellwell Yoga today. From my heart to yours, be well.